Wednesday season 2 is finally out, and believe me when I say it's a must-see and never to be missed film. You are definitely gonna love it. It's true that a lot of people are a bit disgruntled with Netflix or the producers because it took them 3 whole years for them to come up with a season 2. You see, and then when the season 2 was finally released, all of the first 4 episodes were made available. Now the other four came 2 weeks later on, so they got tired already. They were like, "You guys are not serious." So you got like bad ratings. Still, it's a very great film. I can tell you that for sure. Now, talking about the season 2, the establishing shot that you're going to find Wednesday and the family. Now, they're driving her to school. It's back to school season. Now, unlike season 1, where she went to Nevermore midway or midterm, remember that she was expelled from her former school because she was trying to, fight her brother's bullies, right? So, in the process of her fighting back, one of the boys almost lost their life. So, the parents had to, file for a lawsuit. So, the only way Wednesday's parents could save her was to transfer her now to a school for her kind. So she left a normie school for Nevermore, a school for outcasts in a city called Jericho, right? Now, there is one thing Wednesday had in season 1 that she will not have in season 2. Season 1, she had liberty. There was no younger brother for her to take care of. But all of this is about to change in season 2 because season 2, her younger brother will be joining her in Nevermore. And she had one responsibility: protect your younger brother. You have to make sure that he fits in perfectly in school. Keep a close eye on him. But now, Wednesday, as usual, she never takes orders. She has a mind of her own. She does whatever she wants to do. She had her own plans. One of them was protect my friend Enid from dying. Right. So this is going to cost her a whole lot. The fact that she neglected her younger brother is going to make him go to places he was not supposed to go to, which will not just cost the life of people, it's going to cost Nevermore, it's going to cost the city of Jericho, as well as the life of the Addams family. A lot of things are going to happen because of the negligence, right? So they are in school. The younger brother is still trying to settle. He does not know anybody around. Even his roommate refuses to be friends with him. But Wednesday, like I said, she's a loner. She doesn't even want you to be friends with her. She had just one plan. Let me find out who is trying to kill my friend. But now the challenge she had was she has lost touch of her past, of her psychic past. She could no longer foresee. You see, so how do I go about it? How am I able to see who wants to kill my friend? How do I know the steps to take in order to avoid this, this strategy from happening? But then she was given a solution: go and mend your relationship with your mother. But you know how this young lady is. She rather burn than to work with her mother. I will find solutions my own way. Wednesday's carelessness and her inability to listen to advice or counseling is going to cost her a whole lot because there are consequences, you see. For example, she not listening to her parents when they said, you have to protect your brother. Your brother is under your protection. You must babysit him, right? But she said, no, you're on your own, no. Yeah, there was never a time she visited her younger brother to even know how he's settling in the dormitory, you see. So because the young man has so much time in his hands and he got desperate, and he did not want to be a loner. He was badly in need of a friend. The roommate would not even give him the chance to be friends with him, you see. So I think the opening night, right? They narrated a story of how one of the students in that school, who was a great mind, I think his name was Isaac Knight, the way he died, he was performing one of his, known discoveries and stuff, and he died in the process. Now, he had a heart condition. His heart was changed into a clock-beating heart. And after his death, he was buried under a tree. Now, since the young Huxley has so much time and is desperate, he's like, you know what do I do? Let me go and investigate more, because I was told that if you were to put your ear close to that tree, you're going to hear the heart, the clock ticking heart. You're going to hear it, right? And he went there to, how some young minds can be very curious. Upon getting to the graveside, he tripped, he fell, and he ended up resurrecting this student. Instead for him to tell somebody about it, to tell like an adult, he decided to keep it a secret. So he hid the resurrected body in his friend's bee farm. Now, the poor friend had no choice than to keep his roommate's secret, you see, and that again is going to cost them a whole lot. Right. Now, let's move on. You find Wednesday Addams struggling. Now, she's going through a whole lot. First off, she's scared and worried because she foresaw the death of her friend Enid, right? Then on top of that, there has been a crew who has been following this young lady, which means there's a stalker. Now, she's unable to tell who the person is because she's lost touch of her power. That's the second thing. Now, she has to find out how the friend died and who is responsible for it. So there's just a whole lot of mystery, you see. But who is going to help me out? Now, Wednesday is somebody who does not take it to counseling. Wednesday is somebody who does not confide in anybody. She believes that she's her only ally. Well, the other person that she could really trust was Ting. You know, Ting did his possible best. At some point, he got neglected, so I really felt for the young hand. Fast forwarding, Wednesday becomes desperate to find solutions to her problems. And she had to do the unthinkable, which was to break into Willow Hill. Now, this was made possible by the help of her uncle and Thing they had, right? So they broke in and they discovered that the mental health institution was just a front. Now, there was something that was happening underneath. Now, underneath, there was an experiment which was being carried out. So, a set of normies, normal people without special powers, were capturing the outcasts, those with powers, right? So, they were using their powers, they were transferring their powers from the outcasts to the normies so that the normies can become outcasts. Does that make sense? The outcasts have the superpowers. Normies do not have superpowers. So they capture the outcasts with the superpowers. They carry out all these experiments on them, suck out their powers, and transfer it now to the normies. You see, so they now can be the outcasts. So that's what happened. But now, unfortunately, things went south because this singular act freed a lot of outcasts, including Tyler and Isaac. I know. Now, Isaac Knight happens to be the pet. Now, remember the pet. Remember this skeleton, right? This skeleton who was resurrected by Poxley, Wednesday's brother, right? And whom he hid in that beehive, in that voila. That's a young man. So after feeding on people's brains, he realized that he was degenerating into a human being. So he continued eating brains and he became a threat. So when Poxley took him to their boot camp and he ate the brain of one of the camp masters, right? And he was equally shot by Wednesday during her battle with the mom. Now, he was arrested and sent to the mental institution. So that's how he found himself there, right? Okay, so because of what Wednesday did, Wednesday, the uncle and Thing, because they broke into Willow Hill trying to find solutions or answers to her problems, they ended up freeing a lot of these outcasts. And unfortunately, Tyler's mother, Frances, was amongst, not leaving out Isaac or Slop. Voila. So that's that. The altercation of Wednesday and Tyler left her for half dead. Now, for fear of her dying, she was being sent a spirit guide who happens to be her former principal. That's a twist, isn't it? I know. Now, Wednesday will still not give up. Neither will she listen to her spirit guide. Her spirit guide will still tell her, mend your relationship with your mom and everything's going to be fine. But she will not listen. In a nutshell, Wednesday successfully avoided or saved her friend from that, pending doom. But unfortunately, that will cost her a whole lot. Instead of Enid dying, one of the Addams is going to die. But now the question is, which of the Addams is going to die? So that's another problem for her to solve, again, without her powers. Now, on the other hand, we're still seeing Isaac, who after eating a lot of people is beginning to transform into a human being, you see, into a full-fledged human being. Now, how the Addams family were not detained for all the crimes they committed, it still baffles me. Now, this is where the corruption comes in. They're one of the most influential families, they have so much money. So I think all their deeds will go unpunished because they have means to cover it up, isn't it? Voila. Now, talking about corruption, talking about embezzlement still, let's talk about Principal Dot. I think we've forgotten about him for a minute, right? Voila. Now, when you look at Principal Dot, you will think that he's a normal human being, as in he's not a disturbance for anybody. He's not a threat to anybody. He's a kind-hearted principal who just wants the betterment of the school, Nevermore, who is just looking for donations towards, making the school more better and stuff. But no, that's not the plan. That's not him. He has other plans. Now, you're going to find him blackmailing one of the students, Bianca, who has the ability to silence you, now hypnotize you. I think that's a better word. She can hypnotize you. She can make you do things or say things without you knowing it. See, so she's going to blackmail the young lady into silencing the grandmother of Wednesday into donating her entire fortune. Now, how will Wednesday solve this problem? Now, will she be able to realize this plot? Will she be able to find out about this conspiracy, and we should be able to help the grandmother out of it. That is how Agnes, you know, the young lady who has the ability to appear, the invisibility young lady, voila. Now she's going to come in handy. Now I want to take you back. Listen, a whole lot is happening. There's just a whole lot of plots, subplots here and there, so many scenes. The pacing of this film, it's really high, to be honest. One action to the next, there's just a whole lot. So I'm just going to say this. For you to better understand the film, I do recommend that you watch it. You are not going to regret it. The season 2, just like season 1, has 8 episodes, and it is action filled. Now, before I give my final ratings on this film, I just want to mention a couple of climax for me. The very first one is going to be the ending of the film of season 2, which is episode 8, where Isaac captures Pugsley and takes him to that his tower, right? Now, he's trying to carry out that experiment which killed him so many years ago, remember? Now, what he wants to do, he wants to use Pugsley's power to save the sister. Now, the sister was able to give herself up. Now, she rather gives the opportunity to her son because she believes that the son is young and he has, you know, so much to live for, unlike her. Now, the Addams family comes through to save their son, and unfortunately, they survived it. But now, at that particular time, I was scared because remember, after Wednesday saved the friend Enid, the next person to die was the Addams. So I was like, is it this moment where one of them is going to die? Like, what's going on? What's happening? Who is going to die between them? Or who is going to die amongst them, you see? And then we equally discover the origin of Thing. Now, Thing is actually a part of Isaac Knight. Now, that hand belongs to Isaac Knight. So you actually see how they're reconnecting, you know, and then at the end of the day, blood is thicker than water. No, in this case, water was thicker than blood because Thing would ditch its owner for the Addams family. So they were safe, they were reunited, and unfortunately, Isaac died, and then Tyler killed the mother, you know, and then he escaped. You see, and then another climax for me is going to be when Principal Dodd was actually caught and his true personality was being revealed. Now, remember when Agnes was able to find out that Bianca was behind the grandmother's sudden desire to give out her entire fortune to the school, they had to devise a means towards saving Bianca's mom and, of course, unraveling who the principal truly is in front of the whole crowd. And when they were able to accomplish that and the man died, he was turned to stone and he died, I was like, wow, okay, this is beautiful. I was so very much interested. I was scared that the grandmother is going to donate all her, you know, all her fortunes to the school and stuff. So when that didn't happen, I was like, okay, nice one. Now, another climax for me is when Wednesday was buried. She was buried alive. Now, Isaac had captured Pugsley. And when Wednesday heard of the news, she was very afraid to lose her family. This is a very unusual family. They have a very crazy way of showing their love for each other. They might not talk often, but you do not touch one. Touch one and the rest are going to come for you. So Wednesday came to support and to save the brother. Unfortunately, she got outnumbered, overpowered, and she was buried alive. Agnes, who had supposedly went home, right, was still lurking around. Now, when she saw what happened to Wednesday, she had to go back to the detention. She had to go back to school to call on Enid, Wednesday's friend. Now, unfortunately for Enid, there is no way she could go out because she will later, if she were to transform into her full form as an alpha wolf, the probability of her transforming back to human being will be very low, so she can no longer transform. Now, if she stays as an alpha wolf, there's a probability that, there's a high chance that she's going to die because she's going to be a threat to other alpha wolves who are going to, you know, track her down and kill her. But she was ready to make that sacrifice for her friend. First, to prevent all of this from happening, she was being detained, you know, so that she's not going to transform. But when she heard of the news, when she was told that her friend was being buried alive, she had no other choice than to leave her, you know, her comfort zone. So together with Agnes, they went to where Wednesday was buried. Now, upon trying to dig her out as a human being, she could not. She realized that they were running out of time. Now, she had no other choice than to transform into an alpha wolf. And when she did that, eventually, she rescued Wednesday. And that's when Wednesday discovered that, oh my goodness, do you know what you've done? Like, you cannot become a human being now. The chances of you dying are very high. She said it was worth it. So that was equally a very touching moment for me. It's going to tell you the importance of friendship. It brings out sacrifice. It brings out love, you know. And but I equally have a problem with that particular scene Why? Because when Enid transformed as an alpha wolf, you could still see eyeshadows. Come on. The wolves wear makeup now. You could see eyeshadow, you could see, I mean, he had a wig on. A purple, I've never seen a werewolf with purple hair, except you've seen one. Please do let me know. That's what I saw. So that's why I was a bit, come on, you guys missed out. But aside from that, everything about the film is amazing, very interesting. Now, a memorable episode of this particular film is when they swap bodies. So Wednesday was given another alternative, right? Since you still do not have your powers, you don't want to make a relationship with your mother for your powers to come back to you. There is this graveyard or this tomb. Now, if you were to visit that tomb, and you are sure to foresee what's going to happen, though it's temporal. But there are repercussions. If somebody were to touch you, if there were to be hindrances or any breakage, something bad is going to happen. But they never told us exactly what's going to happen. Now, on the other hand, Enid is in school, now there was a curfew. Nobody should leave their dormitory after 10 p.m. Now, this is Wednesday breaking all the rules, going to that forest, to find that tombstone because she is on a mission. She needs to save the friend. The friend on the other does not know what Wednesday is about. So when Thing told, so when Thing tells her that Wednesday is out of the dormitory, she has to go looking for the friend. Now, unfortunately, she gets there when Wednesday had already touched the tombstone. She had to break it, you see. Now, when she touched Wednesday, and both of them fell to the ground. Upon waking up, they realized that they had exchanged bodies. Now, that was a problem. Now, Wednesday was in Enid's body and Enid was in Wednesday's body. Mind you, Wednesday has her own personality. She is not sociable. She's not in for chit chats. She does not make friends. She does not have a boyfriend. And she does not wear colorful clothes. On the other hand, Enid is a lively one. She's the life of the party. She's the lover girl. She loves colors. She loves ice cream. She's very sociable. Now, how are they going to live in each other's bodies? And another important point, what Wednesday eats, Enid does not eat. The family, they eat more bugs and stuff, right? Now, she's going to come one-on-one with Wednesday's family. How is she going to handle that particular moment? It's going to keep you to the edge of your seat. It was very exciting. I think this particular scene established how they got to understand each other's personality. And it was very, very important because they were able to bond more. And that's why Enid could sacrifice herself to save the friend. And she further understood that my friend Wednesday might not tell me often, but she truly loves me very much. And the reason why she's been acting so cold and so distant in this season of this academic year is because she's trying to discover who killed me and how I died and to find ways to prevent it. So it made them stronger. And I'm living for it. It was amazing. And the equally seen Agnes joining the pack, like she's been dying to be friends with Wednesday, but she did not just gain the friendship of Wednesday, she gained Enid's friendship too. So they became the three musketeers. Amazing. It tells you the foundation of friendship. You've been honest to each other. Like I said, all of this would have been avoided if Wednesday had just come clean. Hey, Fred, I discovered, I got a vision that you died. Now, I don't know who killed you, but even after you died, you were blaming me for your death. So my problem is, who killed you? Let's join forces. I think they are joined forces. Things would have been a lot more easier for Wednesday, but Wednesday is somebody who believes that nobody can help her better. She knows it all, and she does not need anybody's counseling. So that is why, the film took the turns that it did take, and there are so many lessons for you to learn. The first lesson you have to take into counseling is very important. It's not everything that you should keep private or as a secret. You have to confide in somebody. When you confide in somebody and you take it to counseling, a lot of things are gonna you're gonna stay away from trouble most of the time. You understand? And then equally take care of your sibling. If she was very much present in her younger brother's life, she would have noticed that the younger brother was keeping such a big secret, you say, but because she was very distant, that happened. And in terms of parenting as well, I'm equally going to blame the parent. They were equally very distant, a little bit selfish, I must say. They were very much concerned about their clothing and what they're going to eat and the looks. It's true that they showered these kids with so much love, but they were not really, really that present in their life, especially their dad. So parents, you have to be very close to your children, know what they're about, visit them in school, have those deep conversations with them. Make your children your best friend. Now, to conclude, I'm going to rate this film a 9.5 on 10. My only problem was when Enid transformed into the alpha werewolf and she had the purple, she literally had eyeshadow on. I've never seen a werewolf with eyeshadows, and then a werewolf with multicolored wig. Come on, that was not realistic, right? We do understand it's fantasy, but you're trying to make it believable, so you have to make sure that you do it to the best. You say the best of your ability. So that's the only reason why I'm giving it the 9.5. Aside from that, everything, the cinematography, I love the feeling, I love the different camera angles, and in terms of the performances, all of them did an amazing job. I'm gonna give a shout out to Wednesday. My goodness me, I'm going to give a shout out to Jenna Ortega, who performed the role of Wednesday. She did an incredible job. Her facials, like she never moved, you know. She really embodied that role so well, very fearless, ambitious. You know, she'll follow her intuition. She's just a brave young lady, and she's somebody that I've grown to love. I think I want to watch more of her films. I equally love the performance of Agnes. Agnes, though she was a new character in the film, but she did great. You know, her facial expressions, the desperations, you know, all the emotions she was bringing out, amazing. I'm so much in love with it. And another person whose performance was very beautiful, Morticia. Oh, the grand. In fact, guys, all the actors on this film, all the characters, they brought out their A game. I love it. The director equally did a great job. My only problem, the makeup artist, too. Ooh, mwah, the costumier, ooh, continuity. Ooh. I do not have a problem with any of, as far as the production is concerned, they did a great job. My only problem is the werewolf thingy. Having multicolor eyeshadow, I've never seen that. And the wig, no. I've never seen a werewolf like that. So that's why this film is a 9.5 on 10. So let me hear your ratings. Have you watched The Wednesday? What do you make of the film? What do you make of the plot? And let's talk in terms of the suspense. Now, while waiting for season 3, they've already been able to give us 1 or 2 tips. For example, Aunt Ophelia is not actually dead. You know, the auntie of Wednesday, the mother, the sister to the mother, right, whom we all thought was dead, is actually not dead. She has been confined by her very own mother, who has equally been pretending to every other person that her daughter is dead. So we're going to discover that she has been locked up. That's another one. We're equally going to find out where Isadora is taking Tyler to. Tyler's mother is dead, the uncle is dead, so he's a loner now. The father too died, you know. So he's a loner. He has nobody with him, right? And he cannot stay in Jericho, isn't it? So Isadora, who was a tutor in that school, suddenly finds interest in him and tells him, hey, I really want to help you. And guess what? Only for her to make one of the most shocking revelations. She said her father too was a Hyde. So she is taking him somewhere. Now, where is she taking the young man to? We do not know. Will Tyler come back stronger or not? We do not know. Now, before the season ended, we saw Wednesday finally getting hold of her powers. So her powers are finally coming back to her. So there's just a whole lot is going to happen in season 3, with the Addams family finally separate after realizing that their mother and grandmother was actually the one holding their sister, auntie, captive. All this and lots more, we're going to find out in season 3. I am Chama Ayomide Darling. See you next time. And hey, and about so please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time. Bye.